TV, anime, video games, books, Star Trek, Marvel, My Hero, Hook. It don't matter what you into, don't matter what you do, here on Nerd Shit, we got something for you.
Welcome back to Hypothetically Sound Presents-Nerd Shit, and welcome back to another Harry Potter theories episode. This is part 2 in our Is Hagrid a Deatheater series with our guest, our mother, Rebecca. How are you doing today, Mom?
I'm fine, but now you're going to break my heart again, and I'm not going to sleep because I'm going to toss and turn because in my head he's not.
The first episode was definitely hard. Sorcerer's Stone has a lot of damning evidence, but I think it eases up a little bit on Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban. They're stuff that you can explain away, essentially, via plot points. But it's still interesting, so we'll talk about those. It's been about a week since we last talked about the first one. How are you feeling today on Hagrid being a Death Eater? Do you think he is, or do you think he's not?
I think he was just a victim of and being played on both sides because he was too predictable on what he would do, and he was taken advantage of, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So a little wishy-washy stance, but I'm okay with it.
Fair.
That's me. I'm all about the wish-wash.
So, yeah, I'm gonna take over for the Chamber of Secrets, all right? So, we're just going to... In the Chamber of Secrets, you see the following, right? Hagrid knows who Voldemort is and has known him for years, right? And then he spends time in areas known for dark wizards and witches without any explanation. Now, let's get to the main evidence of Chamber of Secrets. So, Hagrid is one of Voldemort's oldest associates and knows his true identity. Dumbledore himself says that very few people know that Lord Voldemort was once called Tom Riddle. And the only reason Dumbledore knows is because he, taught him, right? That would mean, and he also says it was 50 years ago, so who else would know around 50 years ago? That would be at Hogwarts and Hagrid. The same Hagrid who was a member of the original Order of the Phoenix, dedicated to fight Voldemort and confident of Dumbledore. Hagrid is the longest known associate of Voldemort other than Dumbledore that we know of, and Hagrid is certainly where Voldemort is Tom Riddle, the boy he knew. In the Diagon Alley chapter of Book 1, he told Harry that Voldemort was a Slytherin and confirmed he went to Hogwarts years and years ago. Something no one else but Dumbledore and Slughorn know, tying Voldemort to Riddle. Oh my goodness, I can't talk, man.
It's okay. If you want me to take over, just let me know.
Yeah. I got like a 3rd grade reading.
He did bring you back to Wisconsin, sorry.
I just don't read out loud.
It's all good. Hagrid is the longest known associate of Voldemort other than Dumbledore that we know of. In the books, Hagrid is the first person you see with a young Tom Riddle in the entirety of the books. Hagrid is certainly aware of Voldemort is Tom Riddle, the boy he knew in Diagon Alley chapter. In the Diagon Alley chapter of Book 1, he told Harry that Voldemort was a Slytherin and confirmed he went to Hogwarts years and years ago. Something nobody else but Dumbledore or Slughorn knows. Tying Voldemort to Riddle.
See, that shit harder than it look. See, words are hard. You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
Hagrid never again.
This one's gonna take an hour for us to get through, right?
Yeah, right. Hagrid never again mentions knowing Tom Riddle nor Voldemort. He never alludes to the history with Voldemort, which spans decades longer than anyone except Dumbledore, who knows what kind of relationship could have developed long ago and with no one else confirming or denying. So this leads back to what I said in the first episode. We don't know what type of relationship Hagrid had with Tom Riddle after the fact. We can allude from the scene in Chamber of Secrets where Harry is shown which we can also maybe know is a lie. So that's the other thing is the flashback scene with Hagrid and Voldemort or Tom Riddle at that point, where he sees him with the spider and tries to kill the spider. We don't know if that's true or not. We never find out if that's true or not. And so we also don't know what kind of relationship. Were they buddy like Hagrid was making it out in that scene, or did Hagrid just really hate Tom Riddle after that point? We don't know because it's never mentioned. It's never brought up again. What is your take on Hagrid and Voldemort's relationship from school that we see in the books, or just your take on it from the movie and books?
Well, it's a school. You're gonna know your classmates and know, follow them, especially if they've affected you. So he was he got kicked out because Tom Riddle said he was the one that opened the chamber. And so, of course Hagrid's going to remember Tom Riddle and he's going to know what happened with Tom Riddle. So that relationship is just, it's like Harry with Draco. If they did all that stuff and, were enemies throughout the whole school, and at the end, that put them together. It was fate. And who knows where that relationship is in the future. They're always going to remember each other.
Yep. And the reason why I'm gonna stick with I think Hagrid is a secret Death Eater is he talks about disliking Voldemort multiple times, but it's never for like the reason that I would, if I was Hagrid, the reason I would hate Tom Riddle and Voldemort is because he kicked me out of the wizarding world. It is because of Tom Riddle narking on Hagrid falsely that got him kicked out of the wizarding world and made him even more of a leopard in the wizarding community. Like being a half giant was already enough to shun him, but he fully shunned him from the community by ratting him out and getting him expelled from Hogwarts. So I would assume that would be the reason he dislikes Voldemort, but that is never brought up. Not once is that brought up. Which is weird. Like, it could be just a simple plot that she never intended to be a thing, but to me, as a person who likes sci-fi or that would be into writing, it just seems like a point that should have been brought up again and should have been his main reason for disliking Voldemort. Like, I never trusted this man. I knew he was a bad seed when he lied about what happened and got me kicked out of school, and then he went on to kill people. Like, I just feel like that is something that she could have put in the books if he really disliked Voldemort.
True.
And then the final piece of evidence he has in the Chamber of Secrets is the easy one. I'm not gonna read his full thing. Is Hagrid being in Knockturn Alley? When he finds Harry Potter after Harry takes the wrong fireplace, he finds Harry and grabs him and takes him out. Harry asks him what he's doing in there. He said he was getting some stuff, flesh-eating repellent, for his gardens. But Hagrid's there multiple times. And it's known as being a shady place. So
maybe he's got a lot of flesh-eating plants he needs to get rid of.
Would that be a normal thing up in? Hold on, I'm just saying they have a book of monsters. It's literally a monster that has harmed students, right? So, like, clearly that wouldn't be out of the norm for like regular wizards to have. So why would he have to go to the sketchy place to get it? You know what I'm saying?
And this is another thing. There is a herbologist at Hogwarts who grows all kind of plants. A plant that saves people from being zombified or whatever, petrified from a basilisk. So don't you think she would have something to help tend to his cabbages or his garden?
Well, I'm sure, but Hagrid always had things he wasn't supposed to have and would hide them. So if he had something that he wasn't supposed to have and and had to make sure nobody saw what he was getting, Nocturne was the place to be. Because everybody does their own business there and no one says anything, anybody. So maybe he was there because he didn't want anyone to know that he had something he wasn't supposed to. And he was just making
Or
excuses.
maybe he was there and that's where he meets and gives out information
What a stretch.
regarding Hogwarts, Harry, and other people.
What a
Like, because we're not
stretch.
just saying that he only gives information on Harry Potter. Hagrid is has a lot of information on a lot of different people. Dumbledore confides in him, other people confide in him. He's around when things happen, so he overhears things. He is a perfect spy because people see him as a doofus, as a half giant, so they already disrespect his intelligence, which we know is higher than he is given credit for, because he makes dumb mistakes. Oh, what an idiot type things, and so people don't suspect him to be something as a double spy or a spy, because when you think of a spy, you think of the world's best. You think Daniel Craig, 007, James Bond type people when you think spy. And so, like, going on Nocturne Alley would be a good place to slip information to people without being suspected, because he could go there without being dark because he's a half giant. So it's, like you said, it's a shady place where dark wizards and dark things are sold, but it's also a place where the lepers of the wizarding world go to handle stuff. Essentially, the ghetto, the hood, the place that the prominent wizards would never go, if you catch my drift. So yeah.
But he's so noticeable just from his size. He still has to go through. I mean, he has to go into where everybody else is and then turn off into that area.
True, but remember, if you're seen already as someone who would be in that type of area just because of it's essentially like when you send undercover agents into something, you want someone who looks like they belong to that area. So you're not going to, if you're sending a person into the Ku Klux Klan, you're not going to send a black guy.
I mean, if they're wearing the robes with the gloves, like, you might be able to get away with it.
Like the movie, Kate. I don't remember what it is, but it's the movie with Adam Driver.
The KKK, yeah.
They sent Adam Driver in, but the dude who got them in the first place was a black guy. Like, so it's like that type thing. Like, Hagrid can go to these places because he looks like he belongs in those places already.
Why did I have the Dave Chappelle skit in my head? When you said information. Okay.
When it works, it works.
It does. Good Lord. Yeah. I get all that. And it's just, there's so many other reasons. I mean, who's to say that Dumbledore didn't say just kind of go hang out there, and he was going back to Dumbledore and telling Dumbledore stuff too.
Oh yeah, I believe. Well, I still believe he is one of Voldemort's top people. Just like Snape, he is a double agent, and the only difference is where Snape was doing his double agent work out of mourning love for Lily. I just think Hagrid is more on Voldemort's side, where Snape was more neutral, more leaning towards good, where I think Hagrid is neutral, leaning towards dark.
I think he's just a simple mind and just does what he wants. And it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. In his head, it's just what he wants to do.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's part of being kicked out of the Wizarding Society. If they're kicking you out, why would you follow the rules? Like, if I get kicked out of school, I'm not going to get up at 8:30 every morning because I'm not in your school anymore. I don't think that analogy
I
worked.
don't
I'm
think
sorry.
that's. I don't think that's a rule because even when I was in school, I wasn't waking up at 8:30 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Like it was past. If it
that's
was
why you
past
barely
like 7
graduated.
o'clock, if it was past 7 o'clock, I'm staying home. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, Mom lived it. She was there.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, you guys could have ditched. I would have never known.
Exactly. That's why. You know what? Yeah. Onto the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Why did school call me and say you weren't at the line, Mom? Okay,
Lying.
so
Randy, why did you only go to your classes like once a week? They lying. I still graduated, didn't I?
Look what I done with that degree, Mom. Aren't you proud? Rank can say times 2, huh?
Mm,
Randy was too busy trying to set an example for you.
Cutting it. All right, let's move on.
In the Prisoner of Azkaban, we see the following from Hagrid. Hagrid has developed access and placement to all of Voldemort's enemies and priority targets. Hagrid purposefully spreads misinformation and rumors which only serve to aid Voldemort. So here's the evidence on his plot points. Hagrid maintains unusual access to the power and influential, including Voldemort's main targets. So Hagrid works as a groundkeeper and keeper of keys at Hogwarts, which means he has access to everything on the grounds and inside the school. He is a school dropout with minimal education, a controversial half giant many people don't want around their children, and all around gruff person working a blue collar job at a school. People constantly judge him and look down on him throughout the series. As we were saying, that's why he could go places and not be suspected. Then how is it then that Hagrid is able to associate with some of the most rich, powerful, and influential people in the world in such a casual capacity? His access and placement as a source is astounding, and he's very likely to had to put in a lot of effort and outreach to obtain his position as an individual with access to so many powerful people. Hagrid strikingly and effortlessly maintains the following relationship. Confidant to Dumbledore. He has a friendly association with the Minister of Magic. He's even on first name basis with Cornelius Fudge. He's a longstanding member of the Order of Phoenix. Out of all the adults in the series, Hagrid maintains the closest relationship with Harry and his friends. So for a supposedly socially clumsy blue cowler, groundskeeper, school dropout, and half giant, having these associations is downright incredible. And perhaps most importantly, they all happen to be the targets of great interest to Voldemort. In book 3, during the chapter The Marauders Map, a group of people go out for drinks together in Hogsmeade. McGonagall, Flitwick, Fudge, and Hagrid. 2 illustrious professors and the head of houses at the major Wizarding Academy and a groundskeeper. Hagrid and Fudge are already deep in conversation when the professors enter, and during the course of the evening, Fudge shares secret investigative details regarding the Black investigation. Hagrid, who was also one of the early members of the Order of the Phoenix from the First Wizarding War, as well as renewed group from the Second. He was privy to their secret plans and operations. And finally, Hagrid is one of the closest people to Harry in the entire series, which he cultivates thoroughly through Harry's years at Hogwarts. More on this in the section of the Half-Blood Prince. So he gets back to being that close to Harry later on. So what is your reasoning for Hagrid to be able to... I'm going to just focus on Fudge, the Minister of Magic. Why do you think Hagrid is able to so friendly and easily talk with Fudge as if they're old chums?
Because that's the type of guy he is.
I mean, I'm a friendly, good, nice person, but I'm not gonna go down the street and just like, hey yo, Obama, or hey yo, Barack, what's good? And just talk to Barack in a bar for
why ain't you? Hold on,
10
Barack
hours.
Obama up in a bar, no one's bugging him, and he's like, I probably wouldn't approach him either because I'm not I don't like approaching people. But like, if I was that type of person, hell yeah, I'll go fucking talk to Barack Obama. Are you kidding me?
But we're not. We don't know if, like how that. So we don't know if Hagrid approached him, which we can assume Hagrid would approach Fudge. Why? Because of his comfortability with Dumbledore.
I just have a fantasy that they're standing waiting for the community broom to come through, and like he bumps into him, and Hagrid like does that weird like lean whisper thing he does.
Yeah,
and that's how their friendship started.
That's just the type of person he is.
It's just the type of person he is.
To play like both sides of the spectrum here, his relationship with Fudge, I would say, is because of Dumbledore. There's no reason up until Order of the Phoenix, or right before Order of the Phoenix. There's no reason for us to believe Dumbledore and Fudge have a bad relationship. Dumbledore's helped Fudge throughout his entire Minister of Magic time, so we can assume they have a good relationship. And if Fudge is around with Dumbledore, you can guess Hagrid's around as well. So that's how they can have a relationship. But on the other side of it, did he use a spell on Fudge to do it? Did he give him like some kind of potion to be friendly? Like, why was he allowed into this meeting with McGonagall and Flitwick and all of them? Like, because in the series, there's multiple times where McGonagall there's an uproar. McGonagall herself wonders why Hagrid is doing certain things. In the first book, she's like, "Why are you trusting this to Hagrid?" When like I'm pretty sure something else happens in the first and second books, where she brings up again, what is Hagrid doing? Why is he doing this? Like, she does it throughout the book, questioning. Like, she's the only one that questions why Hagrid is allowed to do certain things throughout the whole books. How do you feel about Hagrid's ability to be in these places? And then, do you think I'm just making up McGonagall calling him out, or why do you think she does that?
McGonagall questions everybody. It's just her nature. I mean, she's always like suspicious of people and always giving them a look at, like in the movies and even in the book, it kind of, some of the stuff she says, you can tell she's questioning people's motives. A lot of that stuff that she does is always wondering what they're up to. I think for her that comes back with, being in the Order of the Phoenix. It's always being on the lookout, and that's kind of what her role was. Always just questioning things. And you said it in the, I believe, earlier here and then in the previous podcast that Hagrid, everybody kind of just got along with him, and because they didn't think he was smart, they accepted him. So maybe Fudge is the same way. It's just Hagrid. He's harmless. I can talk to him. He doesn't remember, I just don't tell him anything way important. He'll slip up and tell somebody that. It's just, that's why I said that's just who Hagrid is.
Fair enough. Which leads us into his next point of evidence. Hagrid's penchant for rumor mongering spreads divisiveness and aids Voldemort's operations. Hagrid spreads information which is oftentimes private or has no reason to be discussed, except for that in doing so, he serves the purpose of turning good people against each other or sowing confusion. This is best exemplified by a conversation in Marauder's Map of Book 3. McGonagall, Flitwick, Fudge, and Hagrid are all discussing private information surrounding Sirius Black. As readers learn, Black is innocent and has always been opposed to Voldemort. The Death Eaters know this, such as Bellatrix Lestrange, seems elated that Black is being blamed for murders he didn't commit. Almost nothing aids Voldemort more than discord and distrust between members of the Order of the Phoenix and the wizarding community at large. In addition, the spread of misinformation leads to the ministry's wasted efforts, resources, fear-mongering, and time of Dementors in public spaces. In the scene, in the bar, Rosmeta, the bartender, has already heard some private information about Black from Hagrid. This prompts McGonagall, "Did you tell the whole pub, Hagrid?" says Professor McGonagall. McGonagall implies that this has happened before, and we know that Hagrid has let slip secrets which served Voldemort before. The information Hagrid shares always seems to laser targeted toward helping Voldemort, such as the details surrounding the Sorcerer's Stone's operations. The bar scene continues. Fudge reveals secrets about Potter's murders, including that Sirius was the secret keeper, his confrontation with Wormtail, and his arrest. Fudge's story is wrong. Of course, the ministry. Stop. Subsequent arrest. Better, subsequent arrest. Fudge's story is wrong, of course, but the ministry's incorrect understanding paints Black as a traitor to the Potter family. All of this occurs under hushed tones as the pub is extremely crowded. Despite the obvious private nature of the conversation, Hagrid takes the opportunity to let loose. Filthy, stinking turncoat, Hagrid said, so loudly that half the bar went quiet. He then proceeds to yell all the private details, down to the exact names and sequences of events, which paint Sirius as a traitorous mass murderer, even though McGonagall urges him to keep his voice down. Hagrid knows better than this. He shows a knack for keeping secrets and performing covert duties when we talk about it, which we will talk about in Book 5. Given the information, location, source, and level of details provided, Hagrid's outburst in the pub can be nothing more than intentional. It serves to bolster Voldemort's agenda by sowing distrust, uncertainty, unnecessarily wasting ministry resources, and taking the heat off of Voldemort himself. So essentially, he's saying Hagrid and Voldemort know how to stir distrust. So Hagrid's timely outbursts and secret sharing lead to the ministry going the wrong ways because of his high ranking or his ability to influence high ranking officials by being around them, essentially.
Yeah, one too many butterbeers. It gets loud. In a pub.
That he had already been told to be quiet in.
Yeah, but if he's in the pub and he liked having a couple drinks in the pub.
I don't know. That one's kind of, you can't defend that one.
Have you?
I think you can.
How long have you been? How long has it been since you've been in a bar and watched people get drunk?
But still, like, that's
5 years.
It's information that's not privy to like he's telling him a secret that Black is innocent, or that Black was a secret keeper, that Black killed Wormtail and did all this information that wasn't known. Like, people know that he is in jail for killing one wizard that was never named and 13 muggles. So for Hagrid to give out the names and that he was a traitor, because there are people like Dumbledore and Order of the Phoenix people who know that, or don't think he's a traitor, don't think Black's a traitor. And so for him doing that, that's spreading rumors that and putting fear into Sirius Black and keeps the eyes off of the real people who are moving. Because remember, we're a book away from Voldemort coming back. So the plans are in motion still for him to come back. He's always trying to find a way back.
I'm trying.
Pretty damning evidence. Randy makes a good argument, even though it's definitely leaned towards him, just his theory in general.
Yeah. Like, you could probably go through this and like do it with multiple characters. But Hagrid's a fun one because it does work. Like, it makes sense that he could be. But you'd be like, but he loved Harry and he loved Dumbledore. Sure. All kinds of secret agents and undercovers fall in love with their marks. Isn't that a theme in a lot of movies? Like, look at Bad Boys Forever.
Now, wait.
Character
Went from a Deatheater to a creep?
Yeah, you could be a creep.
True.
Fall in love with people.
That makes him a creep. For loving?
No, what he said fell in love with Harry and Ron.
Yeah. There's no like he clearly loves Harry. He clearly loves Ron and Hermione and Dumbledore. But like there's no reason for him to do it like love them before he meets them. So obviously he falls in love with them during their time at Hogwarts. Like he was just biding his time waiting for the opportunity to save Voldemort. But yeah, all of it's hearsay. At this point, he's still a good guy. At least we think so.
I think so.
We know you think so, Ma.
It doesn't matter what we say. You won't agree. You will always think he's good.
I will. It's my nature. I try to find the good in everyone.
Well, that's just a lie. So we're ended there.
Voldemort was just misunderstood.
I mean, I bet someone took his nose and just never returned it and he got really upset.
Oh
Like,
my
I would
God.
too, shit.
Yeah, imagine you doing magic and all of a sudden your appearance starts changing. Yeah, that would make anybody go insane. And there's no plastic surgery to fix it?
Oh, wait.
True.
Yeah, glasses.
Wait, can't they just, like, they have magic. What do you mean there's no like, they have something better?
I know they regrow things. I don't know if they they change looks, but none of it's
Okay,
permanent.
so we can regrow things. They can. I mean, I guess he transformed into a rat, but like he's still missing fingers and shit. Stuff.
Remember, healing things is easy, but regrowing things is a whole nother creature.
But like he's the most powerful dark wizard. It shouldn't be that hard, right? He split his soul, but he can't grow back a nose. Come on.
That's a different episode, Alec. We don't talk about those things.
Okay, I was just saying.
So that's the two books. That is Chamber's Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban. Long story short, I can't speak now. Use all my brain power. Long story Oh wow, still can't say it. Long story short.
There you go.
Hagrid is a person who has high-level reaching abilities to spread rumors and misinformation. He goes places that he doesn't, which leads into misinformation and being able to spread rumors. And he has known about Voldemort since he was young, and we don't know his actual relationship with Tom Riddle. So that's where we're at through 3 books. Anything you want to say before we wrap up the episode?
Hagrid's getting the short end of the stick on this series, just saying it. That was it.
Alec, anything to say to the people before we end it?
Yeah. Don't be friends with a giant man who likes to lean to whisper into your ears. It's kind of weird.
I mean, I don't know why he has to whisper into your ear. Like, yeah, it's weird.
He does a side lean, like, too, right? Like, he's trying to be, like, secret about it, but everyone see big ass rock back, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way.
Well, thank you guys for taking part in this episode. We have maybe 1 or 2 more after this. We got 4 more books. So until then, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like and share this episode. Tell your friends. Comment what you think of the theory so far. And until next time, deuces.
Basta.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.